Hello everyone, welcome to Sketchalona episode 42. My name is Jan. Every week I show you what's been happening in my sketchbook while I show you some of the sights and sounds of Barcelona, where I get to live right here on the Mediterranean. And right now, it's pretty hot. So you are looking at my attempt at a cover for my little science fiction adventure comic book called Phosphor. I got fed up with myself overthinking it and making like little mock-ups and thinking through like what exactly I was gonna do, and I just kind of put a paper in front of me and started drawing. And one of the things I love messing around with, even though I still feel like I have some ways to go, is put in a little cross-hatching. But I am doing my best at making these really soft cross-hatching work by laying on some very thick inks. And the whole time I was kind of holding on to myself like, I'm gonna screw this up, I'm gonna screw it up, I've screwed it up, oh my god, this is awful. And the thing about working traditionally is that, you know, because it's such a time investment, I always feel like I have to make this work. I cannot screw this up. And if I do screw it up, your hands tied so much more than when you work digitally, because you cannot simply erase as you would digitally. It makes for a tense little exercise. So here we are again. I've discovered that adding a little line weight to these letters looks really cool. So today is Wednesday, and today's a bit of a funny day because I made a big mistake earlier. I came home after a long walk through the heat and I was pretty tired, and I decided to take a little siesta, and then I didn't wake up. Like I woke up at I slept for like an hour, but then I woke up really groggy and like unable to do anything, so got stuck on social media for a little bit, and that was of course, as always, not as always, but Facebook has just gotten so boring. So now it is already 11:15, and I am trying to catch up, because if I don't do this, I feel really empty going to bed. It's like a spiritual emptiness. That's what it feels like. My soul is missing something. I must have something new to look at when I walk out of my bedroom in the morning. So what if there's like some kind of weird mist billowing through the cave? So let's check in with the piece I finished yesterday. You can see it peeking out. Okay, so here we go. This is my attempt at a cover for my little comic book, Phosphor. It's only the part in the middle that's really going to be on the actual page. So I've got the mysterious wanderer coming out of the mist. I've got the giant vehicle that they live on with the large beams of light. This is kind of a retreat to my original first page from last year. And then I add a little a logo, if you will. And I'm quite happy how this cross-hatching came out. When I did the groundwork for it initially, it was very light and I was really worried about it. But then as soon as I started applying really heavy blacks for things that are more in the foreground, it kind of worked out. So there you have it, complete with screaming children in the background, if you can hear them. But yeah, overall, quite happy with how this turned out. There is like, let me find this video where I'll walk you through some of the mistakes I uncovered as I was making it. So I've decided to add the legs. I was feeling a little brave, so I added this here. But then it started looking like the shade for the billowing cloud, which was not my intention, but that kind of worked up my courage to add more lines here to just kind of, like, you know, don't want to overdo it, but I always overdo it. But then, like, you add more and it looks fine, so then you get afraid that you're going to ruin it. But I think that this looks okay. I think I could still add something a little here to get it across. This is the leg a little bit more. See, I guess if I had those different type of pens, then I could get this neat little effect in one go, you know? Instead of two strokes. Okay. A little bit more of a dramatic pose. Other things I've noticed, you know, with the hiatus the other day for getting a new charger for my Mac, which is looking just fine over there. This perspective is totally off. So if I just step back, let me just show. So I didn't draw any perspective lines, you know, because I just went at it and I figured I had this under control. So obviously this one goes down here. And so in my mind, this kind of goes, and then this would go like this. See how it makes sense? But then I didn't quite stick to it. So here, especially for this one, of course, this one, see how this line is totally off. So either this is like that, and then I move it up, possibly going down, and that should be the perspective, but not. So it really bothers me. At least this is not a mistake. So see how this goes here and then it's down here, because as you can see over here on the second one over here, that's actually part of the design, but I forgot about it so for a second I was enraged. Quite pleased with how this came out over here, this detail of the grinders for the rock, if you will, and then over here is another mistake. So this is the back piece of this metallic arm, so clearly there's an upper arm and this is the lower arm, the grabber type thing. So the perspective on this one is off because it's attached to this thing back here, but it actually looks like it's attached to the actual wrench part. So I think I can get away with it, but it's not good. So I might have to fix that digitally. So yeah, all in all, I like where it's going. It is now, I think it's Tuesday, so we need to hurry up. If I want to hit my 2 to 3 pages a week, I need to get moving. So she's got a curtain draped over her shoulder, over her arm, trying to get a rope around it to tie it up. So not the easiest of thing to draw. And then so I left my mock-up comic book at work because I've been working on it on and off in between, and then because I have the story kind of in my head and things are floating around and I have like 3 different mock-ups, all of a sudden I reverted back to an earlier idea to show her waking up next to someone, holding hands, leaving that person and going down to the depths below where she has to do her work. And the idea behind it is to start the day with them, with the crew waking up and doing a normal day's work, so I can kind of introduce the characters, and then something happens. The main going ons at the start of issue 1 of the opening chapter. But I'm constantly like moving characters around. I've kind of decided to focus on this one in particular. So within like 1 or 2 chapters, I can have a fall from grace, if you will. Like I want to show this young woman, very ambitious, doing whatever she can to get out of this low position and like get a higher position status, and then it's taken away from her. So that then becomes a drive for her. Like she's already ambitious, but then that becomes a drive later on to claw back what she sees as hers, and creates conflict with one of her best friends. So I need to set her up as an ambitious person and working very, very hard. So this is kind of, this page allows me to allude to that, and then when you read it again, it's like, okay, I see. The thoughts that go behind these very loose pencils. So yeah. So many thoughts behind this first page. All right, if I could just get the pencils down tonight, I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy indeed. So today, the good thing about today is that I actually did not lie down or sit down and watch the news and just kind of chilled after work. Like, I had some household chores to do, did those straight away, found out the cat had been sick, so more household chores for me. And then just started drawing straight away. So I've been at this like pondering and pondering and pondering for like an hour. And it's going to be even harder getting all the like the hand and the gestures done just right. Good morning, everyone. It's a Sunday. I had a bit of a crash and burn this weekend. Laundry's ready. I had a bit of a crash and burn this weekend, and And I did make a little video, but it was so depressing. I was just not gonna put that on the air. But worst of all, look at that. That's the life. So let's take another one of those. Basically, I woke up yesterday. I had this splitting headache, right? Like just enough to put me out of commission and keep me pretty much in bed most of the day. Like that bad. And usually I don't take painkillers, but when a migraine gets that bad, and I don't have a lot of them, but like when I do, time for reflection in bed. So of course, since I was reflecting, and I'm trying not to ramble. So this weekend's been an interesting one because there's a few dramas unfolding, both at work and both at the house. We've had a guest for 3 months, and it's taken too long. She's totally found her footing, but stuff has been happening. And then yesterday or the day before yesterday, I spoke with the friend whose house this is, whose apartment this is, and who I'm babysitting for, and she's planning to come back for a visit, and she's planning on coming back, and that completely shifts the timetable from September to 2 weeks from now. Not even 2 weeks from now. So yeah. So, that kicked up a lot of fuss, but it's also at the point where I've just kind of had it to hear with all the drama and none of it's mine. And it's like, I've got my own drama, like at work. So that, some of the stuff that's been happening at work is interdepartmental fighting, but really it's one office versus the other, it seems, from time to time. And some of the people in the other office, they like to pass me little messages and tell me off and get me to do stuff for them. And so finally, I just wrote a lengthy email about it and gave it to my boss and was like, I don't think this is how things should be done. And here's my rebuttals for all their points that they claim that I'm doing wrong. And also I'm not doing it. Thank you. But she backed me up, so it's all good. So that was one worry away from me. But I'm telling you this because I've kind of just been pondering why the sudden migraine? Is it the air conditioning at work? Is it that I just needed some rest, I get really tired during the week from just sitting in the office the whole time, and then after work there's a lot of art to be done. There's a lot of, it's practically another job. So there's not a lot of time to just kind of crash and burn and just lie in bed or go out. So it's frustrating. So I was just kind of wondering, if maybe, it had something to do with that. It was just some kind of subconscious way of forcing myself to just stay put, don't move, just don't move. And then the other thing, of course, that is always a concern is money. I'm at the point where, I'm in this routine of running out of money at the end of the month. I'm paying off my credit card, my student loan debt, work. There's extra expenses with helping out a friend who's at the house. And there's going to be extra expenses for her to move out. There's going to be, with my friend visiting, she just ran into a problem with her bank here and online banking, but she's not in the country. So basically asked me to front a couple of hundred so that her payments can go through. So that now leaves me out of money already at the start of the month, and that is just so frustrating. And that's basically all the earthly troubles that have nothing to do with actually, procrastination and making your art. which we are going to get started on right now. Because I have one decent hour before meeting up a friend. And then, and then there's tonight. If you haven't got it, Steel Wool, Johannesvik, it's good. I like it. The only critique I have is that sometimes the colors are a little dark, but they are amazing watercolors. And it looks to be a superhero tale. And it looks to be female American football player, athlete. You know, like there's all these little things that are just different. Like they just seem like quirky little characters. So I'm intrigued. I want to get a second one as well. So where was I? So back to the art we're gonna get started. I made you sit through a lot of thinking about this page right here, and I don't like this page anymore. And so I just feel like erasing it. But I'm also thinking like, oh, maybe we should just keep this page and just finish this page just for the hell of it, just for the little exercise in drawing, and just grab a new piece of paper and make the page proper. But I've fallen behind, and that's not cool. And then I thought to myself, the Mac is back. Let's plug it into Photoshop and into the Cintiq. And since I don't like this, and I do have all these thoughts for the page, let's do a little digital thumbnailing. What's this? This is a cat here. So yeah, let's get started. It's a beautiful market, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it, because they've been renovating it for like, I don't know, 5 years? I think it's been 5 years. It's a bit crazy. I'm here to meet up with a friend at San Antonio. You know, finally out of the house, stopped drawing. So I've had a little idea. I was watching one of Jeff Lafferty's videos the other day, in which he was talking about posting his comic book, Berserkernaut, which I'll put a link down below, up on Tapastic or Tapas and Webtoons. And so it was really inspiring, and I kind of fell into the category he was talking about, like, you know, like working on a comic book, keeping it to myself, and then all of a sudden, with the intention of possibly kickstarting it or whatnot, putting it out in the world. But by then, of course, there's not very much for people to find. So I'm thinking of putting a chapter up on Webtoons as I'm making it. But then I'm thinking, well, I don't want to burden myself unduly with a lot more work than I intended in this first phase, which is just, you know, getting started making the actual pages. But to the cover that I finished, that you've seen me make today, I did add a couple of gray tones. Nothing like Life in Space. I'm keeping it simple, but just to make it, you know, to give it a little bit more flair, if you will. So what do you guys think? Should we put it up? Would you go have a look? Well, let's find out. It should be, I'm hoping to upload this first page Monday evening. It'll be under Yanimal, you know, as normal. So should be easy to find. And then hopefully afterwards I can put a link down here as well. So yeah, meanwhile, it's freaking hot. I had something else to say. I forgot what I wanted to say. There was something else on my mind. Oh yeah, I saw Spider-Man. Spider-Man is freaking awesome. Very funny. Everyone was laughing. We had a really good time. and kind of made me pause, you know, like, because he's one of my all-time favorite heroes as a kid growing up. And so this year, you know, with Spider-Man, Logan, Wonder Woman, like, if you're into this genre of films and this genre of comic books, life is pretty good right now. So if you haven't seen this film, I recommend it. It's very funny. I love that he's a proper teenage kid. And I actually watched a video like how they made him really different from the previous incarnations. And it was very interesting. You know, like the behind the scenes thinking about it, like one of the obvious things they did not do was have him swing in between the buildings in Manhattan, for example. Not that he doesn't swing between buildings, but like just little visual clues like that. It was really cool. But I have to stop because I'll probably give away a spoiler or two, and I wouldn't want that because it is full of surprises. So. So the story behind this little jardin, this little corner in the neighborhood of Raval, is that a well-loved character of the neighborhood called Juan Andres Benitez fell foul of the police and was beaten to death. And so in his memory, they've built this very cool little corner where they organize community activities regularly. So I thought that was quite touching, and like there's some excellent street art, of course, as you'll find all over Barcelona. But yeah, it was quite touching to hear some of the stories behind some of these sites.
La prohibieron por eso.
After which she showed me how to prepare your glass of absinthe. Not quite my favorite. Also, any drink that can possibly make you go blind is not on my diet. Some more street art, perhaps? The story behind this building, they told me, it's a place where students gather and they exchange things. You can just leave things you don't need anymore, shoes, clothes, and then someone else can pick it up and they can leave theirs. You guys, thanks for watching this video, man. I appreciate it, but it is time to wrap it up. I'm uploading this in 3 parts, so I don't even know how long it's going to be, but I figure we're hitting the 25-minute mark here. And so yeah, so Sketchalona is taking a little bit of a needed break. So these past couple of weekends when I make my videos, I've been a little down. This weekend was also, you know, with the migraine was just a little too much. So I've been a little, yeah, I think I really need this this little hiatus from video and from YouTube. As I've mentioned before, I'll still be working on my art. I still have to go to work, but it's time to kind of cleanse the mind and stay off social media for a little bit and see what's happening with the life in space. You might be seeing me there if that kicks off this month, but otherwise, low profile till September. I think I need it to just kind of appreciate making all this stuff and enjoy it. Not that I haven't been enjoying it, but it's been, yeah, like there's just a little bit too much going on lately with all the drama that it's gonna be nice just not have to work on videos for like 4 to 5 hours, because that is how long it can take sometimes. So thanks for the likes, thanks for the follows. I'll be back in September. I hope you like this video. If you do, leave a comment down below. Follow the links to some excellent comics for you to catch up on this summer, and I'll see you next September.